I don't know who needs to hear this, but Chibi reviews and this Espi and like these other people are really just fucking annoying and should really just be ignored. Come tell me why today I go on Twitter and just to see that Deme, a person who honestly I don't really care about, but thought, oh, that's an interesting way of thinking. That's an interesting. Sorry about that. That's an interesting boundary to set. She clearly says, hey, just a reminder, I'm extremely uncomfortable with NSFW art of me. But why did you make your VTuber look like that? She quotes, just because I like sexy or hot things doesn't mean I want to see porn of it. It's just a VTuber. Who do you think of when you see it? You think of Deme, the person. This character, what this model, this art was based off of her. So you're going to think of her when you see the model. And clearly me, who's able to read, thought, oh, okay, she doesn't like seeing porn of her character, which is mostly what NSFW stuff is. But clearly I was wrong, because clearly NSFW is just basically because clearly NSFW is instantly sexy art, because now we have people calling her hypocrites of reposting and sharing sexy art of herself, which I clearly had to state how, hey, basically said NSFW and sexy art aren't one and the same. Clearly meaning that something can be sexy without it being NSFW. Because sexy is, and repeat it with me now. Wait, what's the word? Fuck, there's a word for it. In the eye of the beholder. Like a word for that. A word for like in the eye of the beholder. Hold up. Describes subjective, that's the word. Sexy is subjective to most people. So, but clearly I'm obviously not the only one in it, but clearly to some other big YouTubers, such as this person named Spiritu, NSFW is sexy, which I didn't deny. And clearly, because I said something somewhat different and he couldn't understand that, I am a retard. Which he said in this tweet. NSFW is sexy. Problem is, none of you retards, i.e. referring to me as one, know what words mean and instead talk out of your ass. And then he continued on saying, now looking at your account, you're a low IQ commie. And if you know my account, if you actually go to my account, you see that I repost art, which falls under the sexy category and probably NSFW category of that other stuff, depending on if I want to or not. I repost and like art. I repost and like art of majority of kinds. I follow and like art of all kinds. I interact with and share, essentially repost anti-racist, anti-homophobic, anti-bigotry stuff like that. I also talk about like wanting better for like the state of the country, especially for black people, but apparently that makes me a low IQ commie in this person's eye. And before I can even think to respond, because obviously I'm not a 24/7 Twitter user, I went and took a shower, because I just made the tweet and went and got a shower. To come to find out, he blocked me instantly after making those remarks. So he not only does he insult me with some ludicrous insults, he didn't even give me the chance to respond, which honestly makes sense, because I would have proved him fucking wrong. Because if you look it up, as I did, yes, absolutely, something can easily be sexy without being NSFW. And yes, this is an AI overview, but at the same time, he used AI for his thing. So I'm perfectly okay and in the right to use AI an overview on my stance. And it says, yes, absolutely, something can easily be sexy without being NSFW, not safe for work content. While NSFW generally refers to explicit nudity or overt sexual acts, sexy is subjective and often describes an aura of confident style or an action that piques romantic interest without actually showing skin. Which is why a lot of people find biker uniforms, goth uniforms, nursing outfits, etc., to be sexy, even though it's not overtly showing a lot of skin. Heck, I know a lot of people like myself that find baggy clothes to look really good on women. But anyway, and obviously, I'm not the only one that thinks this. if we go over to, I'm not the only one who has a stance about like her setting boundaries. Static Tokyo for us also likes that they have their battery, they're setting boundaries, and also mentioning how people need to stop calling out. Arctic Elea also states kind of like what I was saying. NSFW can be sexy, but sexy doesn't have to be NSFW. It's called consent. I'm not really sure about that last part, but the first part of it, yes, I agree. NSFW can be sexy, but sexy doesn't have to be NSFW, and that's exactly what I was trying to say. But of course, this doesn't stop certain people like Chibi Reviews, Espretti, even Straub, who honestly reminded me of this one. Straub and Rev are like reminding me of this one bitch from Silent Voice. I'm gonna put up an image right here now of who he's reminding me of. They don't want to. They can't take accountability. They act like they never can do anything wrong. They have just like this moral high ground, annoying nuisance of guardian person, and it's just annoying. Like they're not even. They're trying to be such this good person, or like make them seem like some. Oh, I'm just a little girl. I can't do anything wrong. Woohoo, bagaga, or whatever the fuck. And it's just like stupid. And obviously, Deme had to call her a point. But that's not the end of it. I went onto this guy's post again, and he decided, y'all are gonna also determine if this is misogynistic to you, but he said VTubing proves what happens when you have women take over a space. It goes to shit, which is just dumb. Because I myself, was VTubing not primarily a female thing, or specifically not primarily used by women? And so I looked it up. Yes, the very first content creator to use virtual avatars were women, specifically animated female personas. Ami Yamamoto, a virtual vlogger, debuted on May 18, 2011, and often considered the first true VTuber. Shortly after, in 2006, Kizu AI debuted, coined the term virtual YouTuber, and popularized the medium worldwide. For a closer look onto the origins of virtual content creators and how the earliest avatars were designed, and then it gives me a YouTube link to Cyberworld something, who was the first VTuber. And it's like, yeah, VTubers are mainly used by women, and that just like shows like how disingenuous that tweet is. But alas, people like Chibi Reviews and this Espi guy, sorry, not Espi, he wasn't really doing it, but kind of was. Specifically, people like Chibi Reviews just had to come out and start playing the victim. So you avoid answering while you retweet NSW of your avatar, despite being upset about it in your post, which she did not. NSFW, as we stated before, is not sex. It doesn't always have to be. Sexy isn't always NSFW, and she specifically stated how she doesn't like porn of her art or want to see that. But of course, Chibi Review had to play victim after stating to her, "This level of virtue signaling has stun locked me. Look at the repost," which is a repost of the 3 stars in sun, which, as we stated before, is sexy, yes, but it's not NSFW, which I specifically porn, which is something she doesn't like. And she replied, "Wait, oh my gosh, aren't you the guy whose fiance literally cheated on you and your whole friend group sided with her?" Obviously mocking and correlating where she knows this guy from what he heard, because obviously she doesn't pay attention to this dude. And he obviously had to come out and start acting like the victim. I asked why she's retweeting SNW art, which she was not. Avoid answering the question by personally attacking me and cheering on cheating to deflect. She did not do that. She laughed at you and used an event that happened to you. She was not cheering it on. She was just mocking you, which in the situation I don't think is a good thing. Was her mocking, but she was not cheering on your thing, which is you lying. Since we shit slinging, is it true you got back with your abusive ex? Oh gosh, energy. Which I don't know how she followed up with that, but I think it's different than being cucked to getting back with your abusive ex. My bad for not wanting to see my model being pounded, so you avoid answering her. Which she also responded, "My bad for not wanting to see my model getting pounded. If people want to keep drawing it, then it's their choice, but I'm just not." Yeah, she clearly she was just stating how this is her view on it, and she doesn't want to see porn in that. If y'all are gonna keep doing that shit, just like the Gachi Okuda authors kept having her work used by AI bros and tracers, but he didn't want to call that out. Instead, he just wanted to blame black people and trans people for the whole situation of what's happening with Gachi Okuda. which is just completely disingenuous and leaving out the majority, so much of the fact that a lot of the stuff that she got hate for wasn't just from people misinterpreting or being disingenuous, like the whole Jabber cosplay thing, kind of potentially being disingenuous with that whole cosplay thing or whatever, seeing as racist when it was really just like a low cosplay budget thing. But he just had to put the whole thing on leftist gays and black people, as he does. Even as someone also he's also someone who himself seems to respect Japanese art so much, but yet himself be one of the fastest people to repost and use AI art. But anyway, which just raises the prices of so much shit for y'all. Hey, matter of fact, yeah, a lot of your bills that are going up, yeah, you want to blame AI, because that's happening. One of the people I follow, Lucia, even stated herself how it's good to set state boundaries so people can respect them, which unfortunately, since it's Twitter and since people like Chibi reviews, they can't do it. And another idiot, some idiot also decided to say Western VTuber cannot separate fiction and reality. What a shock. I don't know if she was referring to Deme specifically, but if this person is, which it seems like, because I don't think Chibi is a VTuber, it's dumb, because there's a difference between fiction and fiction of a real person's virtual model they use to portray themselves in their light in a different setting. Basically, like when you make basically someone's VTuber model is like a self-insert, if you want to see it that way. Someone else said, to be honest, this wasn't a good idea. Like a Jade animation, when you tell people not to do something, they'll do it even when people saying, which is, yes, I see that too. People do that, especially kids. When you tell them not to do something, they want to rebel, like not have a mindset. But this is grown adults that we're talking about, so you think they wouldn't want to do that, but then again, it's grown adults, especially people on the right. So yeah, and she just stated like how she doesn't want, like she just wanted to stay her preference, even though they know that. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. Yeah, and to summarize everything I was saying, Chibi Reviews is disingenuous, holds double standards, likes to throw out buzzwords to people, and then not liking it when he's doing, not wanting to point out or acknowledge when he's doing the same thing. I got called a commie for bullshit reasons and blocked when what I stated was true. And even someone like Articalia also stated the same thing, just in a different wording. And yeah, thank you all for watching. This has been my video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below, and I'll see y'all next time. See ya. I don't know when this video is going to go up, but hey, when you're done watching this, go also watch another one of my video. I do a lot of gaming, and I would really appreciate it if y'all can go subscribe and watch those games. Right now, I'm working on finishing Hogwarts Legacy, and I'm also on the back burner with Final Fantasy X, Star Wars Survivor, and I've played some demos. But yeah, until then, thank you all for watching. See ya. Bye.